is your Filipino radio experience in Las Vegas. PHLV Radio. PHLV Radio.
Hello, good evening. It's Saturday night here in the Pacific. And if you're watching us right now, magandang gabi. Good evening sa inyong lahat. And if you're watching us in the Philippines, good afternoon. I hope it is a beautiful Sunday at 2 p.m. there in Manila. At you're having a wonderful time with your family, loved ones, significant others, and it's a wonderful day today. And for those people watching us in different parts of the world, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. At we are live on PHLB Radio Facebook page, as well as simultaneously we are airing live on PHLB Radio YouTube channel. So if you are not a subscriber yet, what are you waiting for? Just share, like, share, and subscribe. And just click on the notification bell if you want to be notified every time we're on. Also, we are live on different podcasts, namely Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Spotify. And if you're using Alexa, you just say, Alexa, play PHLB Radio. And if you're using Amazon Fire TV, just look for PHLB Radio channel. And if you have any question on our shows or the station, feel free to log in to www.phlbradio.com. Yun, naku, ang ganda ng topic natin today. Naku, ang dami na agad nakaabang. Naku, kailangan ko mga tulong nyo. Si Katrina Poblete Salom, she is based in, I know, Doha, Qatar. She's the mother of Ayana, and Ayana is having a wonderful show. I think it's Flood. It's a musical play in UK. Tapos si Hazel, naku, itong inaanak ko si Hazel. Hazel Long Talk is watching us from Houston, Texas. Puyatan na talaga. Alam ko, alas 12 na dyan, Haze. Tapos sabi niya, attendance check, sabi ni Katrina. Sabi niya, attendance check from Doha, Qatar with Rosana Millar Barrera. Hey Rosana, good morning Kuya Jush. Oh, good morning sa'yo din. Aba si CMD naghahabol. Ano ba talaga ang hinahabol? Okay. Naku, maganda yung topic natin for today. Ito yung basta maganda siya. I think marami tayo makakapulutan ng aral. Okay, let's start, and hopefully makahabol yung kahabol today. Okay, at by the way, happy viewing sa ating team replay and team share. So maraming salamat sa inyo. Okay, ang title today's episode, it is in forgiveness, or it is in the forgiveness that you too are forgiven. Ulitin ko, the episode for today, it is in forgiving that you are, or you too are forgiven. Okay? Here we go. Dear Kuya Jush, good day po sa inyo, sa mga viewers and listeners. Thank you for having a show, dear Kuya Jush. Like many, like many, I am an avid supporter of your show. I watch your show weekly. I am one of the many who listens in the background. More power to you and your two shows on PHLB Radio. Maraming salamat din. Sana continue pa ang show na ito kasi dami akong natututunan through the stories discussed on the show. Lessons that I have applied in my life. Pati mga phrases na you used on the show, na-adapt ko na rin sa daily life ko. Phrases like, make your faith bigger than your fear. Pray more, worry less. Let go, let God. Be kind. You can never go wrong with kindness. Any act of kindness you do to others, it is guaranteed it will come back to you in so many ways. BTS, believe, trust, surrender. Nako, nakakataba ka naman ng puso at mukhang memoryado mo ang mga napag-usapan natin mga phrases. Nakakatuwa naman at binabalik mo ito sa akin. Thank you so much. Talagang nanonood ka nga talaga ng show. These are the phrases that make a difference in my life. Kaya, Kuya Jush, maraming salamat. Ako po si Bea, 60 years old, biyuda with one son. My son is already married and he lives in the USA with his family. I live alone now, mag-isa na ako. Ang tanging kasama ko lang ay ang driver at isang household help. Wala namang problema financially. Dahil malaki ang life insurance malaki ang life insurance ng husband ko na nakuha ko when he died at marami ari-arian na iniwan sa akin ng asawa ko. I wrote to you to give my advice to everyone about forgiveness. I was listening to one of your shows when you mentioned the phrase, "It is through forgiveness that you too are forgiven." Sabi mo nga, nasa pagpapatawad ang iyong kapatawaran. Tumatak yang mga katagang yan sa akin. At muling nagbalik alaala ang mga naganap sa aking buhay. Kuya Jush, I got married sa taong hindi ko mahal. I had a boyfriend then, but since hirap kami sa buhay, my parents wanted me to marry Johnny who came from a rich family. Sabi ng mga magulang ko, si Johnny ang sagot sa kahirapan namin. Kaya kahit labag siya sa loob ko, I married him. Kuya Jush, there is truth pala talaga na hindi natuturuan ng puso. Kahit anong pilit, kung turuan ang puso kong mahalin si Johnny, sa dating nobyo kong si Edward pa rin ang aking mahal at minamahal. Kuya Jush, kahit kasal na ako kay Johnny ay nakikipagkita pa rin ako kay Edward whenever Johnny is away on business trips. Dahil mahal ko talaga si Edward, madalas may nangyayari sa amin. Alam ko namang mali, pero marupok ako dahil si Edward talaga ang sinisigaw ng bawat himaymay ng aking katawan. Ilang beses kong pinilit na mahalin si Johnny, pero talagang si Edward ang tanging mahal ko. Hanggang nabuntis ako ni Edward. Hindi ko kayang magsinungaling kaya sinabi ko ang totoo kay Johnny. Halos mapatay ako ni Johnny sa galit. Hindi ko mabilang ang mga suntok at sampal na inabot ko sa kamay niya. Ang alam ko, nawalaan ako ng malay sa sobrang gulpi na dinanas ko kay Johnny. Kuya Jush, umalis siya sa house namin at iniwan akong mag-isa. Dahil sa pangyayaring iyon, hindi na rin ako nakipagkita kay Edward at I promise na hindi na ako makikipagkita kay Edward kailan paman. Nakalipas ang maraming buwan, I gave birth sa anak ko kay Edward. Bumalik lang si Johnny sa bahay namin pero nag-iba na siya. Hindi na siya yung dating asawa ko na maalaga at mapagmahal. Naging magaan ang kamay niya sa akin, palagi niya akong sinasaktan. Lahat ito ay tinitiis ko dahil alam ko ang dahilan ng kaniyang pagbabago at pagmamalupit. Ako lang ang kaniyang pinagbubuhatan at sinasaktan, hindi ang anak ko. So in my mind, okay na rin ito. kakayanin ko dahil malaki ang kasalanan ko sa kanya. Tuloy pa rin ang buhay. All these times, hindi na naging masaya siya sa akin. Mag-asawa lang kami sa mata ng tao, pero sa loob ng bahay, ibang iba siya. Hindi rin nag-stop ang pananakit niya sa akin. Lahat yun ay tinitiis ko dahil sa malaking kasalanan ko sa kanya. Kuya Jush, kahit ganito ang sitwasyon ko sa kamay niya, mahal niya ang anak ko. At he treated him na parang tunay niyang anak. Yan ang naging buhay ko kay Johnny. I kept everything a secret. Lahat tinitiis ko dahil sa kasalanan ko. Sa maraming taon na pagsasama namin, nasanay na ako sa mga pananakit niya sa akin. Hanggang isang araw ay na-diagnose siyang may cancer. Bilang asawa, I took care of him dahil yun ang tama at obligasyon ko yun bilang asawa. Kuya Jush, he asked forgiveness for being abusive niya sa akin. He cried to me, begging to forgive him for being abusive mentally, physically, and sexually all these years. I hugged him and told him na matagal ko na siyang napatawad. Masakit man ang mga naranasan ko sa mga kamay niya, ay napatawad ko na siya. Dahil sa aking paniniwala, nasa pagpapatawad ang aking kapatawaran sa malaking kasalanan ko sa kanya. Kuya Jush, you are right nang sinabi mo sa isang show mo na when you forgive someone, you are forgiving yourself from the pain and ill feelings. You are freeing yourself from that anger. Sa pagpapatawad, pinapalaya mo ang sarili mo sa mga galit at puot na nasa puso mo. I hope na may nakapulutan ng aral ang storya ko sa ating mga nanonood at tagapakinig. Hanggang dito na lang, isang masugid na taga-subaybay. Bea. Nako! Ay, nako! Grabe ang kwento ni Bea for tonight. Teka, batiin mo natin itong mga... Si Roy Nick, nanonood siya. Roy Nick Hernandez is watching from Quezon City. Si Doc Edwin, hi there. Sabi niya, si Dr. Edwin ay nanonood parang siya sa Tanay siguro. Hopefully. She is the owner of Calmara. Yung lagi kong pinopromote sa Facebook page ko as well. Si Russell Lansin is watching. Hello po, watching from Caloocan City, Philippines. Si Russell. Aba, Russell, ngayon lang kita nakita and happy viewing sa'yo. Of course, the queen of music festival, si Ivy Violan, the iconic Ivy Violan. Josephine Castillo is watching us from Quezon City. Si Ivy, I think, watching us from downtown LA or Koreatown, LA. So anyways, ang storya natin ay storya ni Bea. Of course, it's not her real name. She's a senior citizen sa Philippines. If you're 60 years old, you're considered a senior. Unlike in the States, kailangan 65 ka. So anyway, si Bea ay 60 years old at siya ay byuda at with one son. Yung son daw niya ay married and living with the family in the States. Ang storya niya ay tungkol sa pagpapatawad. Medyo natawa ako at first kasi yung mga phrases na banat niya are phrases na nababanggit natin dito sa show. At maraming salamat at para siyang para siyang recorder na nare-record niya yung mga phrases na mga sinasambit o the one we discuss on the show. Now, so one of the thing that she mentioned was she got married sa someone na hindi niya mahal. At she did that because her parents asked or pushed her to marry a man she did not love. At ito ay si Johnny. itago natin sa pangalang Johnny. So si Johnny naging asawa niya, pero ang boyfriend niya talaga ay si Edward na sanabi niya ay mahal niya at mamahalin at minamahal. So, so she got married, even she's not in love with Johnny, and Johnny proved to be a good husband to her. Pero, tuwing wala si Johnny at nasa business trip, patuloy pa rin ang pagkikita nila ni Edward. At dahil nga mahal niya, so hindi niya, sabi niya, naging marupok sila. At of course, things are happening when they see each other. And of course, lo and behold, she got pregnant by Edward. Because she was not raised to be a sinungaling na tao, so inamin niya kay Johnny na nagbuntis siya with Edward's contribution. At dahil doon, of course, I guess in the Philippines o sa kultura, talagang nabugbog siya ng bonggang-bongga. Sabi nga, nagulpi siya, suntok at sampal hanggang sa mawalan siya ng malay. But nevertheless, so natuloy ang pagbubuntis niya, pero umalis ng kanilang house si Johnny at bumalik lang nung nanganak siya. Pero everything has changed. The loving and caring Johnny parang nawala na. Simply because siguro hirap si Johnny na mapatawad o tanggapin yung ginawa niyang kasalanan. So nabuhay siya na talagang sa pamamalupit or being treated badly. Sabi nga niya, she was abused, not only mentally, physically, even sexually, pero tiniis niya because in her mind, this is her payment for the sin that she committed. Pero ang maganda lang na sa sinabi niya, which I need to highlight, was that yung pananakit sa kanya, panggugulpi sa kanya, ay the abuses, hindi naman binibigay dun sa bata na naging anak niya kay Edward. Bagkos, the son was treated very well at parang tinuring daw ni Johnny na anak, na tunay na anak. But the abuses continued until na-diagnose itong si Johnny na may cancer. At yun na nga, parang lahat nag-iba dahil nga nagkasakit. So in her mind, it is the obligation or her obligation being a wife to take care of Johnny, which she did. At nagbeg nga raw ng forgiveness si Johnny, and he cried profusely asking for forgiveness. At doon nga sinabi niya na sinabi ng ating si Bea na don't you worry, I already forgiven you, because she felt na in one of our show then na parang everything came into being dahil nga naalala niya na yung pag nagpatawad ka, when you forgive, you are forgiven, or nasa pagpapatawad ang iyong kapatawaran, which we had mentioned in one of the shows or in some of the shows that we have done here on Dear Kuya Jush. Kaya shinare niya yung kanyang lesson. Shinare niya sa atin, at least you would ang wish niya is at least by sharing the lesson or her story rather to us, we would be able to pick up some nuggets of wisdom from that. So that being said, dagdag pa si Estrelita Lapid is watching. She's watching from the Philippines. I guess she's watching from Antipolo. Estrelita is, or si Bards Lapid is of course from the very famous family of Chicharon, and of course Estrelita is one of the owners of the Chicharon company there in the Philippines. Ang chicharong napakalutong at walang kaanta-anta. Okay? So that's the story of Bea. So firstly, Bea, I hopefully yung mga nakikinig, what do you think of the story of Bea? What do you think of what she had mentioned about forgiveness and what do you what lessons you na nagmanifest sa inyo uh, about what she shared with us. So while we're waiting for some of your comments, these opinions dito sa storya ni Bea, I will give mine first. But just a disclaimer, comments, opinion, advice that would be discussed tonight is not a reflection on the management or owners of PHLV Radio. Okay? Aba, meron tayong bueno mano, si Katrina Pablete Saloma. Sabi niya, Bea, I'm not romanticizing, pero napakabuti ng puso ng asawa mo to accept your son wholeheartedly. On your part, I praise you for being a good wife, despite of all those physical abuses you have mentioned. Agree that is in forgiveness that you are forgiven. Napakaganda, Katrina. Salamat. At totoo naman, napakabuti pa rin ng asawa na si Johnny. Because, di ba, in spite of course, we're not romanticizing. Tama yung sinabi niya, yung pananakit sa'yo. Kasi, di ba, meron na ngayon dyan, in the Philippines, merong violence against women and children. FAUSI ang tawag yata nila. So, it's a Republic Act. Parang bawal na yun. Pero, like what you said, tiniis mo ito because you felt na this is your payment for the sin na ginawa mo o nangyari. Maganda yung sinabi niya na mag-good wife ka rin dahil parang in-acknowledge mo yung parang hindi naman justified yung abuses, but to the end, ikaw pa rin yung nag-alaga kay Johnny. At naniniwala rin siya. I thank you, Katrina, for that wonderful comment. And I echo yung sinabi mo at I felt the same sentiments as well. Happy viewing si Sunny Francisco rather, from Quezon City. Tapos si Chap Marcos is watching as well. From the Philippines as well. So ang comment ko dyan, dun sa while we're waiting for some other comments from you guys. Talagang, Bea, firstly, maraming salamat for sharing your story. Of course, in my mind, especially nowadays with FAUSI, the crime or violence against women and children, it's already a law in the Philippines. And of course, you could always ask for help in the event. So yung mga listeners natin, yung mga Filipinos abroad, kung may mga kamag-anak kayo in the Philippines na medyo being abused physically, mentally, sexually ng kahit na sino, family members or anybody in the society, there's this law, they call it FAUSI or Violence Against Women and Children. Yun po ay papanigan ng batas at bibigyan ng justice for you not to go or to undergo such abuses. So that's already a law that you could avail. Yung storya naman ni Bea, in her mind, na parang yung pananakit sa kanya na justify dahil nga sa ginawa niya na nagpabuntis siya o nabuntis siya ng kanyang nobyong si Edward. One of the things that and I know time and time again, we have heard that, yung mga storya na sometimes there's this idea na ang pag-aasawa ay sagot sa kahirapan. A lot of some people we know back in the Philippines or in some other developing countries, normally ito yung nangyayari. People would marry because of convenience. It's not love, and sometimes that becomes a factor na nagiging challenging factor. Like in this case, Bea admittedly that there is another person that she truly loved at yan ay si Edward. But because of the the influence of the parents, and because of the hardship that Bea is going through in her life, she decided to go with Johnny and marry Johnny. Even wala siyang puso, wala yung puso doon, meaning there's no love that she felt for Johnny. And doon ako medyo pipindot lang o kukurot ng konti. She had mentioned sa letter niya na hindi natuturuan ng puso. On the contrary, depende yan eh. Kasi of course, I will beg to disagree on that. Kasi I always know in my heart that in time, if a person and yung mga nakikinig at nanonood, you tell me what's your take on that. Kasi I believe na pag sobrang bait ng partner mo, natuturuan talaga ang puso. Meaning, because of the kindness that your partner, would be showing to you, or would be treating you. For example, for the wife, you're being treated queenly, everything is given to you. Madaling matutong magmahal. So yun ang medyo I was not too keen, or I don't really I'm not in agreement na hindi natuturuan ng puso. Yun lang medyo hindi ako sang-ayon sa letter ni Bea, because I know in my heart that, and I've seen that and experienced that with some people and friends and family, close family members, na natuturuan ng puso. Because I compare it, alam mo yung when paulit-ulit na nakabutihan ng ginagawa sa'yo, minsan kahit hindi mo masyadong mahal yung isang tao, natututo mo siyang mahalin. Simply because sa sobrang bait, sobrang pag-asikaso. So ilang medyo tweak natin. Tapos si Dominic, si Elsa is watching. Kamusta, miss you? Ay nako, Elsa, I will call you one of these days. Elsa is from Long Beach, California. I miss you too. And happy watching sa'yo, happy viewing dito sa show. So yun lang medyo hindi ako sang-ayon sa letter ni Bea. Okay, pero hindi rin ako sang-ayon sa pananakit ni Johnny, kasi I believe na regardless na yung, of course, in the greater scheme of things, mali naman talaga na kahit na may asawa si Bea, nakikipagkita pa rin siya kay Edward. Hindi lang yung pagkikita, kasi going out with your former boyfriend is not really a crime, but what is sinful, I think, is you still commit, or you still have a sexual relationship with that person, and that in itself, of course, kapag hindi protection or hindi ka protected, there's a tendency na, yun nga, what happened to Bea, nabuntis. Pero it's still in my mind, and this is what I would like to share, I don't believe na dapat it justified yung panggugulpe o pambubugbog ni Johnny. I have a feeling, minsan it's because of the situation, nagulat, o nawala sa sarili, yung one time na nasaktan. I personally do not believe na dapat masaktan o manakit ang isang lalaki sa babae. Sabi nga, my mom was always telling yung friend namin before, na it is always important sa ating mga kababaihan, to our women, na pag kayo pinitik ng asawa nyo, yung isang sampal, if you will allow that, from sampal, magiging tadyak yan, suntok, bugbog, and eventually, there's a possibility baka mapatay ka. So you should not, no one, especially our ladies, no one deserved to be hurt. Lalo na yung mga kalalakihan, hindi tayo dapat nananakit. What Johnny could have done is, maybe kung talagang sobrang sakit na ginawa sa kanya, that it's already it is already nandiyan na, nakagawa na nga ng mali, pero it does not justify to hurt niya si Bea, to hurt Johnny si Bea, and the constant abuse, the mental abuse, the physical, mental, at pati sexual. Nobody deserve that, regardless. Ako yun, and that's me, of course. Kasi there's other naman ways or things that Johnny could have pursued, like legal separation, or maybe kung dami nga may kaya namang pamilya si Johnny, he could have filed for an annulment because of the infidelity that was committed, assuming of course na that's the route. But hurting Bea, physically abusing Bea, is in my book totally unacceptable. But since Bea felt that the punishment was rightfully so, simply because of the sin that she committed, si Bea yon. But in the whole scheme of things, in reality, for me, that is a no-no. And of course, you guys could agree to disagree, and that's okay. So, that being said, tingnan pa natin ibang mga comments dyan, aside from Katrina. So, ang maganda naman sa nangyari, at least like what we mentioned earlier, at Bea mentioned, I think it was clear na yung kanyang abuses na natanggap kay Johnny was not translated or hindi na apekto naman dun sa anak, because ibig sabihin the anak of Bea, Curtis of Edward, was treated nicely, at sabi nga tinit na parang tunay na anak rin ni Johnny, and that in itself is commendable. Tapos and of course the sad part is talagang sometimes there's some people, and let's accept it, iba tayong ways of dealing with the problems that we're undergoing. Kanya-kanya tayo ng ways of expressing how we felt. Like in Johnny's part, ang pananakit, hurting Bea, physically abusing her, yun ang kanyang parang parusa for the sin that was committed against him. Now, of course, ang maganda lang talaga na talagang na share niya sa atin, na I really like, is her lesson on forgiveness. Sinabi nga, when Johnny got sick, and of course eventually nag-ask ng forgiveness, she readily accepted it. Sabi niya matagal na niyang napatawad si Johnny, simply because parang nagtugma nga daw yung mga nasasabi natin sa show, na when you forgive, you are forgiving yourself. And that I believe, and strongly believe, that forgiveness is not forgiving the other person. Like in our daily lives, when you forgive someone, you are forgiving technically yourself. Sabi nga, kunyari may nakasakit sa'yo, or somebody hurt you in your lives, you don't really have to go to that person and say, hey, I forgive you, kahit hindi humihingi ng tawad. But kunyari may ginawa sa'yo, your friends, whoever, na talagang nasaktan ka o nakasakit sa'yo, when you always remember that you have these ill feelings in your heart. Sabi nga, yung iba nga, in your soul, na talagang yung puot, yung galit will always gonna be there, and hindi ka maka-advance. You cannot move on with your life simply because there's this pain, this anger that you carry in your life. But when you forgive, pag nagpatawad ka, you're freeing yourself. Tama yung sinabi niya, you're freeing yourself. Pinapatawad mo yung sarili mo. You're releasing that anger from your heart. Kasi pag nagpatawad ka, parang it takes time, pero it can be done. But when you forgive, you have this feeling of parang comfort, parang peace. Of course, like what I said, hindi naman siya like overnight. It doesn't work that way. But once you truly let go of that ill feeling, that anger, that hatred in your heart, then there's a peace that you would feel, parang may calmness in your heart. And sabi nga in some discussion that I had in the past, when you have that peace, when you release that anger, nakakapasok ang mga blessing sa puso mo. You are more blessed kasi in my book, it is very difficult to forgive someone na talaga na naka-hurt sa'yo, na especially in this day and age. Happy viewing din kay Catherine Cruz. Hi, Catherine. Catherine is the wife of the former Consul General of Los Angeles. So happy viewing at sana nakaabot ka sa storya about forgiveness. Ang maganda rin dun sa sinabi kasi rin ni Bea, which I like at I think it was echoed in so many of our shows, that it is very important na 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 when you siguro ang magandang tanong doon, when do you know, and this I heard from a pastor and a priest in one of the celebration I attended recently, when do you know na nakapagpatawad ka na? Kailan mo nalalaman na you have forgiven someone, na kumbaga kahit na it was so difficult for you to do such, but you would know when you are already in that phase, in that state whereby you are able, or you have already forgiven wholeheartedly a person. That is pag napagdasal mo na yung taong iyon. Meaning when you are able to pray for that person who have hurt you, for that individual who have hurt you, when you are able to pray not for him or her to get hurt, or for you to get even, or for vengeance to be served, but rather for that person to be blessed, for that person to be afflicted. Pag nagawa mo na yon, when you are able to pray for that person with a good intention, with a good wish, with a prayer that would be afflicting to that person's, and mabless yung tao na yon, that is a indicator. It's really a sign that you have really totally forgiven that individual, that person, that who kusino man ang nakasakit sa'yo o nanakit sa'yo. So, that's one thing na siguro yun lang medyo iduduktong ko kay Bea. And I know, Bea, you are watching. When you are able to pray for that person, sabi mo nga napatawad mo na si Johnny for all the abuses done to you, at napatawad mo yung sarili mo, dahil nga sabi mo, at sabi natin, including myself, it is in the forgiving that we are forgiven. Nasa pagpapatawad ang ating kapatawaran. And I adhere to that, and that's one of my mantras in life, na talagang although it is difficult to forgive, it is always a challenge to forgive, pero it can be done. It's just like you just have to have it in your heart. Ano ba yung gusto natin? Do we want the blessing from above, from the good Lord, or whoever we adore, regardless of affiliation sa religion, sa organization? Or do we want to go on through life, we're dragging this hurtful feeling about a person? Sabi nga, hindi naman kailangan na outright na pupunta ka doon sa nanakit sa'yo at sabi mo, hoy, napatawad na kita. It could even be silent in your heart. It could be just on your own when you pray, or basta pag nararamdaman mo na, when the time comes na you are readily able to forgive someone, you don't have to really go to that person and tell that person na napatawad na. It could be within yourself lang. One of the thing too na mention din, si Emma Consul is watching us as well. Happy viewing, Emma. I miss you. And Emma is watching us from Carson, California. One of the thing too na yung last point ko rin, And ako, yung mga ibang tao na I know for a fact that had told me that apology, kung lalo na may naghingi ng tawad sa'yo, of course, pag humingi ng tawad, sincere, sino ba naman tayo na hindi kayang magpatawad? Assuming, of course, it's not lip service and talagang there's really a remorse. There's always na pagsisisi that's happening. It is crucial also that we learn to be able to accept that apology. Pero may mga tao rin, and I'm included in that, you could always accept the apology, but it would be very difficult to give them access again to your life. And I think in my mind, that's okay. Ang sabi nga, di ba, apology accepted, access denied. Kasi there's one thing na nabasa ko rin, and I'm share that with you. People who ruin or try to ruin your reputation, hurt your person, meaning your character, or taint your image, especially when they are spreading lies about you, you need to be very cognizant. You need to be aware of people in your life who did that to you, because it's okay to forgive them. It is ideal to forgive them, but you always have to be you have to remember that snakes will shed their skin to be a bigger snake. Yan, medyo, makuha na naman ni Bea yan. Sabi nila, yung snake daw, kasi we always have this tendency na sa change ng taong who tried to ruin you, who tried to hurt your person, who tried to malign your character, o yung mga chinichismis ka. Normally, there's this tendency na we always say, magbabago yan, but ang reminder lang ko at na parang you just be aware that yung mga ahas daw, when they shed their skin, nagpapalit ng balat, they're not changing to be a better snake, but they're becoming to be a bigger snake. Diba? So, yun ang medyo share ko lang na a little thing. At tapos there's one pa na last thing that I'd like to mention. There's this thing that I read sa pagbabasa ko in my readings, that there's ito yung storya, medyo kwento ko lang ng konti kasi I think most of you have heard this as well, that merong isang babae, there's this lady who is always fascinated and cares for snakes. Meron siyang alagang ahas, meron siyang python na inaalagaan. Of course, may mga tao kasi talagang they make snakes or python to as a pet, di ba? Kanya-kanya naman tayo ng hilig. Some people they like cats, some people they like dogs, some people they like birds. Pero sa kanya, ang kanyang fascination is to take care of snakes. In this case, a python. Pero there was one time, lumaki na yung python, tapos hindi na kumakain. Parang malungkot na, parang matamlay, parang may sakit. So of course this lady took the snake, the python, to the vet, so veterinarian, to tell the doctor bakit hindi kumakain. At ang nagiging habit ng snake, of course, dahil nga niya, parang matamlay lang, pero nandyan lang, parang lagi lang nakatingin sa kanya. Tapos hindi kumakain, parang nangihina. Okay, tapos punta siya sa vet, at ang sabi ng vet, be careful kasi this particular python, hindi siya kumakain o sinasize up ka lang niya kasi eventually ikaw ang kayang kakainin. Of course, ito yung kwento. So meaning, be careful in our lives of people na nakakasama natin. We just need to take inventory of the people we hang out with, because sometimes we thought na yung friends natin are there to consult us or to console us, at the same time to be a friend. Little did we know na sila pa yung sisira sa atin o maninira sa atin, or will try to do harm with our person. Kaya nga, you need to be very aware. You need to be very, kumbaga, careful in seeing or collecting friends, kasi you always pray that in your lifetime you would see real friends, true friends, kasi importante yun. So anyway, going back, medyo nag-off tangent lang tayo ng konti. Going back to forgiveness, yun ang importante. Forgiveness is important in our lives. Forgiveness would allow us to be the better person. It's very, very difficult, and I want to tell you, that it is not a walk in the park. It's not a breeze to just walk into a situation, especially when the hurt is so deep na talagang tumatagos, sabi nga, it penetrated your soul, at masyadong mabigat the sin that was committed against you. It is so difficult to do that. It's not even a science, but definitely it takes a bigger person to be able to just forgive. Lately, I've been watching some crime stories on the net, at I am so fascinated with those parents. Especially recently, may nabasa ako o napanood na they were able to forgive an individual who had murdered their daughter. Diba, for me, that was beyond me, na parang, wow, ganun pala talaga ang whole essence when you forgive, na talagang sometimes mapapawaw ka, kasi especially yung itong case na yon, it was biro mo, they took away the life of a very young daughter nila, but they were able to forgive the murderer of their child. So for me, that is very ultimate, very kahanga-hanga, inspiring at that. At as much na madali sa ibang tao, some people also would have that difficulty as well. At napakahirap talaga magpatawad. But it is important, because when you forgive, which I believe, you are talagang freeing yourself. You are forgiving people, not for them, but for you. It is, don't say naman na selfish, but I agree with Bea that forgiving is forgiving yourself. Ikaw yung pinapatawad mo. Because like what Bea had mentioned, which we have echoed in the shows that we have done in the past, time and time again, forgiving is freeing. Pinapalaya mo yourself of the guilt, the hatred, the pain that you are harboring in your heart. So the blessing will flow freely to your life. Yun ang ating masishare. Si Josh, Leanio, Rafana, just nakahabol. So maraming salamat to everybody who watched the show, at yung mga nag-participate tonight. Maraming salamat. Si Katrina Poblete, happy viewing sa iyo, at maraming salamat for walang sawang support sa shows ng Kuya Jush. Si Roynick Hernandez, hello, from Quezon City, Project 4. Si Doc Edwin, hello to you, happy viewing. Si Russell, hi Russell, I hope you could continue watching our show in the future. Si Ivy, of course, Josephine Castillo, si Estrelita Lapid, and sino pa ba? Si Sunny Francisco, si Chuck Marcos, si Dominic or si Elsa Pascual, si Catherine Cruz, si Emma Consul, at saka si Josh. Maraming salamat for your support for watching the show, as well as for your incessant support of the show. Maraming salamat talaga. At sabi ni Katrina, always Kuya Josh. And hello to Ayana, of course, Katrina. And I don't know if she's back already in UK. And we'll mention the show next week. Pag I'll try to get that poster you sent me, and we'll plug it para doon sa mga Filipinos abroad in UK would be able to watch your daughter Ayana. So that being said, maraming salamat, Bea. I hope and thank you for sharing your wonderful story to us. I salute you for being a forgiving person. I salute you for the acknowledgement and for the gesture of sharing yung details about your life, which not a lot of people would be able to readily share to us. Maraming salamat sa lessons at maraming salamat also for all those phrases na minention mo na nakukuha mo dito sa Dear Kuya Josh. At maraming salamat nakakataba ng puso na nare-record mo ang mga bagay-bagay na nababanggit namin rito. Tapos ulitin ko lang yung mga phrases na na-mention mo. Natatawa ako kasi parang talaga you're keeping a record, ha. Ito yung mga sinabi niya na nakuha niya dito sa show ng Dear Kuya Josh. Make your faith bigger than your fear. Yun ang one. Yung two, pray more, worry less. Tapos, let go, let God. Tapos, yung, of course, yung lagi nating sinasabi, which we'll mention later, again. Tapos yung BTS, believe, trust, and surrender. Ngayon, may dagdag pa tayo, yung minention na natin, na sabi mo nga, when you forgive someone, you are forgiving yourself from the pain and ill feelings. You are freeing yourself. Pinapalaya mo ang sarili mo from that anger. Sa pagpapatawad, pinapalaya mo ang sarili mo sa mga galit at puot na nasa puso mo. And I think that is how I would end the story of Bea. So Bea, maraming salamat. I wish you all the best in your life. And kudos to you. At enjoy your twilight years. At I hope you good health, especially in this new year of 2024. And make it a very prolific, sickness-free, sabi nga. Kasi ang daming mga nangyari sa atin, especially the past few years. And with that, maraming salamat as always for viewing, for supporting the show. I will see you again next Friday for Alam Mo Ba? At may mga bagong topics po tayo at may mga new guests. Maraming salamat for those people who watched the show yesterday with Ives. It was a very, very good show at nakakataba ng puso yung mga numbers at mga views. Please do watch it. You could watch it as well by going to our playlist sa PHLV Radio YouTube channel. Nandun po lahat ng mga past shows and current shows na napapalabas dito sa station. So please do watch it. It was a very wonderful show yesterday sa Alam Mo Ba? And of course, people who were late or people who would not be able or who are not able to watch the show, Dear Kuya Josh, of course, you could always watch the replay. So happy viewing sa Team Replay at nun sa mga Team Share, maraming salamat. And with that, I will see you next week. So those people who are celebrating, happy birthday sa inaanak kong si Kinoy from Kalibo, Aklan. Kinoy just turned, Kinoy Mayor, just turned 18. Ako, yung mga 18 years old, you have so much ahead of you. So enjoy mo lang, make the best out of your life and take each day as if it is the last day of your life. So you live it well. Sabi nga, live life to the fullest. Kasi we have only one life to live. And with that, maraming salamat. Have a wonderful week of what is left of it, yung weekend. Those naman po na you would be I wish talaga na you always will be safe. And I wish you all the best this coming week. Be safe. Alam ko po sa lately dito sa maulan. So be careful and you take care of yourself. And God bless us all. As always, I always tell and remind our viewers and our listeners that to always be kind. You can never go wrong with kindness. At sabi nga, at laging ni-remind din sa atin ni Bea, any act of kindness that you do to people, it is guaranteed. It will come back to you in so many ways, in different times, in different situations, and with different people. And with that, maraming salamat. God bless us all. Good night, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Bye-bye, everybody. I'll see you next week.
Just like a friend from back home. This is your Filipino radio experience in Las Vegas. PHLV Radio.